For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brian Miller, Senior Product Marketer for Data and Fortellis. I'm joined today by Tyler Harding, Senior Product Marketer for Fortellis APIs, and Craig Tanner, Senior Group Product Manager for Fortellis and APIs. So here's today's agenda. We'll first talk about the Fortellis platform. CDK, of course, is committed to publishing a wide array of RESTful APIs to replace legacy integrations to CDK systems and providing new integrations with an eye on the future. Data management, giving both developers and dealers industry-leading transparency and the ability for dealers to control what data is being accessed within CDK systems. And finally, we'll talk about Fortellis Dealer Portal and provide you a sneak peek, providing dealers access to advanced APIs on Fortellis, marketplace app management, and much more. To kick things off, I'm going to bring Tyler onto the mic. Tyler, take it away.
Thank you, Brian. All right, so let's start by diving in to the integrations that power our Fortellis platform and how things are evolving as the platform matures. For those of you in today's call who have not heard of Fortellis, put simply, Fortellis is a technology platform that allows developers to build integrated solution via modern APIs for dealers to activate and use within CDK's marketplace. Fortellis is CDK's open technology platform. It's designed to connect developers, dealers, and industry partners. And it's all about enabling innovation and integration in automotive retail. Fortellis is a technology platform that allows developers to leverage, build, innovate, and integrate apps and workflows to transform business for dealers. This first-to-market platform can be broken down into two primary buckets. The marketplace, where dealers can quickly discover app solutions that integrate with their existing CDK systems, and the developer network, where developers can leverage modern APIs to build and deploy custom solutions. Now, let's talk about the value of the marketplace. Dealers are continually looking for ways to improve their daily operations with specialized enhancements to their core systems. And to support that, today the Fortellis marketplace has over 345 Fortellis apps closely integrated with CDK systems for dealers to choose from, and over 61,000 active subscriptions. In this space, you can think of the Fortellis marketplace as an app store for dealers, where they can quickly find, evaluate, adopt solutions. The bonus here is that those solutions are all pre-integrated with CDK systems, reducing the friction and implementation time for app developers and for those using the apps. Ultimately, this helps dealers solve business problems faster, for whether it's sales or service, and that's our goal. Powering these applications are more than 125 public and private APIs within the Fortellis platform. There's over 6.4 billion transactions each year. It's a staggering amount of data, all of which can be utilized to power businesses. With so many APIs and data options to choose from, the possibilities here for solutions that can be created are truly limitless. Fortellis offers two main types of APIs designed to support a wide range of dealer and partner use cases, RESTful and async. Both work in tandem to enable data-driven innovation and seamless integration with CDK systems. The RESTful APIs represent a lot of the core business functions for an automotive business. They are the backbones of those business needs. They're built with standard get, post, put, and delete functions. And they support common data workflows like retrieving, updating, or syncing information. They also provide notifications to ensure systems stay updated within minutes, reducing the manual effort. Our async APIs push data changes directly to your application via webhooks. These APIs are designed for event-driven applications that keep systems in sync automatically. Async APIs enable a continuous data flow between CDK and third-party applications, minimizing delays when it matters the most. Our event-driven APIs keep data flowing between your CDK applications and other apps. So let's talk about the business benefits from this setup. Together, our full inventory of APIs, both RESTful and async, power seamless workflows across dealership operations. Fortellis APIs can improve service and sales staff efficiency by eliminating redundant steps. And most importantly, these APIs enhance customer engagement with timely, accurate data, whether it's sales, service, or elsewhere. So CDK is moving from legacy MBD, managed bi-directional program, to a modern API-first ecosystem in Fortellis. This is a strategic shift. It's aligning integration with today's standards for speed, scalability, and flexibility. It's not just a technology change, but an upgrade to how partners, developers, and dealers can innovate together. So key benefits of modern APIs. enhanced performance. APIs are more reliable, faster, and able to handle larger workloads without slowing down. The development is more streamlined. These modern frameworks have clear documentation, and CDK support makes integration easier than ever. They're future ready, so partners can gain access to the latest automotive technology, preparing them for evolving dealer and customer needs. And as I mentioned before, the marketplace integration allows new solutions that can be quickly distributed through the marketplace, which reaches dealers faster. So some of you may have heard of a migration for MBD that's happening. It's a phased approach. Partners are grouped into cohorts, ensuring that there's a controlled, low-risk transition to these modern APIs. We've been providing comprehensive support, consulting, documentation, and step-by-step guidance to get folks over the finish line. There's testing and validation happening with early pilots for dealers that are verifying functionality before we do a broad rollout of these new APIs. And best of all, there's flexible billing. So the transition to Fortellis allows for transactional pricing that protects cost predictability during migration. The big picture here is that migration sets partners up for long-term success. It really strengthens the developer experience while giving dealerships more reliable, scalable integrations. Ultimately, it helps the industry modernize and keep pace with customer expectations. So let's briefly talk about data management within Fortellis APIs. So when I say data management, I'm literally talking about the ability to control the way data moves to, from, and within specific APIs. Field management specifically is the ability to control, update, and organize specific pieces of data that we call fields within an API or software system. It lets users decide what data is included, how it's handled, and how it's shared between systems, making data management more flexible and more precise for their needs. Brian will be diving in a little deeper about data management, so consider this your official warning on that topic. To sum it up, Fortellis is revolutionizing the automotive technology landscape in 2026 with the launch of 70 plus new cutting edge APIs that I mentioned that will transform how your business can operate. We'll say goodbye to clunky, outdated legacy systems that slow down, and hello to seamless real-time connectivity that powers innovation truly at the speed of your ambitions. These new APIs are going to help us deliver unprecedented data accuracy, lightning fast performance, and effortless integration capabilities that will help streamline your operations. And for that reason, I'm already coining 2026 as the year of Fortellis. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Brian, who's going to take it from here on data management.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm Brian, and I am excited to talk a little bit today about data management. Before I flip to the next slide, though, I want you to take a moment and think about sometime in your life when you've had that moment where you decided you could either take a shortcut or a long cut. The shortcut gets the job done, but we pay for it down the road sometimes. So keep that in the back of your mind, because as you're planning ahead for how data management is going to impact your business, you have an opportunity here to not take the shortcut and do the right thing. When we talk about data management, the need for data management is super important, and dealers have told us this for a long time. This example dealer here talked about the fact that safety of our data, both customer and financial, is of utmost importance to us. Being able to ensure that a vendor does not receive anything more than the bare minimum required for the use case is incredibly important. For years, we've pulled in clunky files and large file types and then filtered out on our side the information we needed, oftentimes pulling in a lot of information, frankly, that we didn't. The beautiful thing about data management is this now gives us a better solution as developers, and at the same time providing exactly what dealers have been asking for years. CDK is committed to providing full data transparency to our dealer customers using integrations powered by Fortellis APIs. This can be broken down into two form factors. Field management, providing developers the ability to define specific data that they need for their Fortellis apps, and field filtering, providing dealers with the ability to review and filter out whatever information they need to fit their specific business needs. Let's take a look at an example API. In this case, we've got an API that has 124 fields in it. We have APIs, for example, that have hundreds of fields. And in that scenario, it's perfect for CDK to build such a piece because it's needed for the flexibility. Now, when we talk to actual developers, we find that, in most cases, those workflows don't need to be nearly that large. They may only need 39 or 40 fields out of that 100 plus field set. So using that field management tool, they can go ahead and filter down to the 39 fields that are absolutely needed to make that job work. And they may also even go as far as to define 3 or 4 fields that are absolute requirements above that. The dealer can then see those 39 fields without all the static and noise and say, what of those fields do I need? I see which ones the developer has told me is absolutely required, but I can review this in its entirety and say, maybe these 3 fields aren't fields that we want. So in this example here, what we started out with was 124 fields of information, filtered down to 39, and then ultimately the 36 fields that were actually needed to meet both the developer's needs as well as the dealer's needs. Field management is a simple process. We literally can go into a particular API, see the available fields, maybe do some searching, and lock in the fields that are important. Once we've done that, we can now save our changes, and only the fields that we've asked for will now flow into our apps. Let's dive a little deeper into that. As developers, we need to make sure that we're building in-app resilience. Your app should be able to adjust and allow for partial responses from an API. Those partial responses could vary depending upon the dealer. One dealer may say you can't use a zip code. Another might say you can't use a zip code and a state code. So keep in mind that resilience is important at a granular level as we're working with each dealer. With data management, you should only enable the fields which you feel have a specific business need. Again, that example that had 147 fields, we were able to shrink that down to 36 fields. Recently, I read a story that was talking about how in the world of artificial intelligence, AI searches were finding that they were not being very efficient because when someone would ask for something, they would then reply back with a thank you. While thank you sounds like a great thing to say to an individual, saying it to a machine has little or no value. So there was literally millions and billions of thank yous being sent back that were adding to computation, and adding computation ultimately translates into power use and translates into processing use and translates into cost. So by using only the specific fields that you need in your business needs, you're doing your part to actually improve your efficiency and in some ways even providing additional savings to your organization. Dealers in the same time will be able to go in and make those changes. So when, let's say, a dealer makes a change to what you consider to be a mandatory or a required field, it's important that you have a process in place to be able to communicate with your dealers directly. If they disable something like that, you want to be able to pick up the phone and have that conversation with them. Obviously, the goal is to have that correct data set in place so that your system works at its best. But the other advantage here is that you're establishing that necessary rapport that you need with that dealer. You're establishing the trust that you need, and that dealer will be a longstanding customer. If we look at the dealer side of the equation, what a dealer will be able to see is they'll log into within their tool and they'll be able to go into each individual API and see the fields that you've already pre-selected for them. They've got the ability to turn on or turn off those fields. And if they turn off or attempt to turn off a required field, they will get a warning indicating that, hey, you've selected a particular field that's required. The system will not stop a dealer from turning off a required field. It's important to remember that this is the dealer's data and they are the ultimate authority in this process. So keep in mind that capability is there and dealers will be able to utilize that at any time. Let's double click in a little closer again for my developer friends. Having an internal policy along with resiliency coding in place is a requirement to really make this process work. Dealers have the final say again on those fields accessed, and being able to build for that is critical. Once again, I want to reinforce the importance of having a good engagement plan with those dealers because it's imperative that you are able to communicate with them when they decide to turn off a field that may be a required field and is creating a breaking change in your process. Once again, having that plan in place allows you to solve the problem that you need to with that dealer, create alignment, build trust, and hopefully continue to build a long-lasting relationship with your dealers. So what does this timeline look like? Back in August, we began working with a select group of ISVs to test out field management, and then ultimately with the idea of turning on field filtering. Live testing began literally in the last couple of days and will continue through the next 60 days going into December. That limited group has already begun their testing with live dealers, and at the same time, we're now at the process of bringing into place all other providers so that by the end of October, all of our ISVs will now have access to this capability and will begin that testing process. Each publishing ISV will have 60 days to complete that work. And once that work is completed and they've informed us that they're ready to go, we'll go ahead and turn on that functionality for their subscribing dealers. If you're an aggressive organization and you get this first element in place and you're done and you're ready to test early and you don't want to wait 60 days, nothing's holding you back, because I can assure you that your dealer customers are waiting right now to be able to utilize this amazing functionality. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Craig Tanner, who's going to talk to us a little more about the Fortellis dealer tools.
Thanks, Brian. I'm excited to chat with you folks about what we have to offer in the Fortellis dealer portal, and the tools are available to our dealers. So there's 4 things I'm going to cover today. The first one is the API directory. So this is how dealers can access APIs in Fortellis. So there's a new home screen that we've introduced. You'll now see a couple different tiles for those that we've enabled it to. So not everyone will see it as we're doing a graduated rollout. But those that we've enabled it for have this new home screen. You can quickly navigate over to the API directory. There you can shop and look and discover APIs that will meet your needs. Like Tyler said, there's 100 plus APIs available on the platform. We're really excited about how many APIs we've brought to market in the last kind of 12 months. And our roadmap will continue to accelerate to continue to offer APIs for both ISVs and for dealers. We've also collected APIs into groupings based on your use cases. We call those API bundles. So it might be 2, 3, 5, maybe 30 APIs all as a grouping. Focus on specific workflows. So you can see those on the platform as well. We've introduced really simple pricing. So you can view pricing by location or per access per location. So you'll see that it's like X dollars per location per month. And so you'll be able to see that on the platform. It's very transparent. And the last thing is we introduced a modern e-commerce experience. So when you're looking at these APIs, you can add them into a shopping cart. You can easily, in a few clicks, review the shopping cart, accept terms and conditions, and have those added into a platform where you can start integrating with those. Our goal with this functionality was simplicity and ease of use. And I think we've done a really good job accomplishing that. The next section is the My API section. This is the area where you can see all the APIs that have been unlocked for you, that you've previously purchased or contracted for, that you've got access to. So on this page, you can easily reset and retrieve any API keys and secrets. So you can implement and integrate with those APIs. You can also go to utilization reporting. You can see all the APIs and how often you're hitting those APIs. You can look at the endpoints to see specific endpoints that you're hitting, which is really exciting. Next up is you can monitor API activity. You can add locations on there. You can remove locations. It's really, really simple. That's our goal. Like I said before, our goal is simplicity and ease of use here. So you can easily just add locations, configure the DMS boxes or any other configurations that are required API by API. And then you can go see your traffic, any latency that's happening on the platform, any timeout issues. You can troubleshoot your errors. So we've got an API errors report. So you can quickly locate, correct any errors, see if it's like a gateway issue or if it's coming through in the request body or the response there. And you can get the most out of these APIs. The next section here is the app marketplace. This is where you as dealers can discover applications that are the right solution for your business. You can discover hundreds of apps from either CDK or from third parties. You go look at their title, the publisher, the descriptions. You can see which APIs they're using to see if they're right for you. And it's a really easy 3-step process. First, once you've selected the API, you manage the locations and do any configuration you might need. Second, you're going to review and accept terms, and you can look through the terms and conditions. And the third is you're just going to review and complete. It's just a couple clicks to make this experience really simple and easy. The last section here that I want to cover is the My App section. This is the section for dealers to go manage all the apps you've integrated with. You can go look through the list of everything that's there. You can easily manage the configuration, adjust any locations, DMS boxes, anything like that for these apps. It's really, really simple to use. You can quickly disable or re-enable any activations of entire apps if you need. And lastly is the part that Brian was talking about earlier, which is the field filtering capability. It's the other side of the coin to field management, where field management is for the app publishers, field filtering is for you as dealers. You can go, you can look, and you can review all the fields, the field level control. You can turn those off. You can see what the ISV or the app publisher has marked as required or optional. But once again, it's up to you to decide if you want that data to flow. It is your data as a dealer. With all that, I'll turn the time back over to Brian.
Thanks, Craig. Now, before we move on to Q&A, I want to sneak in one more little section of great importance. Supporting the Fortellis platform, we've talked already about the API directory and the marketplace and the great value both of those offer. But underneath that are two very, very important elements that you should keep in mind. First of all, you have your DevCare portal. The DevCare portal provides timely support that you need to maintain and grow your offerings. This ticket-based support system provides well-documented support and outcomes, as well as integration consulting. Integration consulting allows you to build and launch it right. With the guidance of CDK Data and Fortellis Integration Consulting, leveraging professional services to take your offering to the next level of success. This can be broken down into 3 key areas: our discovery and design offering, our integration support offering, and workflow optimization. Integrated consulting is designed to meet developers' needs. This is designed for developers who want more than what our self-service platform provides. Getting started is easy. Simply select the plan or plans that fit your needs, and your CDK account manager can guide you through the sign-up process and connect you with professional services team members specifically trained to help you succeed. With that, let's move on to the Q&A section. Gang's all here.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and get started. There's a couple of questions that are filled in, actually quite a few, maybe more than we can even hit in this session. So understand I'm going to try to grab the ones I can. If you've got questions, please continue to put those in. Understand that when the session ends, if your question wasn't answered, we are grabbing these and we will do our best to try to reach out to everybody who's asked a specific question after the event. First question I've got on here that caught my attention was, when are the old APIs being retired? When will 3 PAs be required to transition over to Fortellis APIs? That migration process is ongoing right now. Tyler, I see you shaking your head. Do you want to comment a little bit about it?
Yeah, we're in the middle of it. I believe our target date, and this I believe will be the case. There could be extension, so don't hold me strictly to this date, but the plan is December 24th will be the date where all APIs have moved over to Fortellis. Again, that date is subject to change, but that is the plan, and we are currently working on, 70 APIs right now. So, hang tight on that. The team's working diligently, and we are ready to support if you have questions during that process.
So that'll be quite a Christmas present in 2026.
Yes, it will. That's right.
Absolutely.
And one thing I want to mention on that is not like all or nothing, right? We've already started that migration. We're seeing apps move over. So it's not going to be like, hey, in December, all of a sudden it's a big shift.
You don't have to wait.
So,
yeah.
Yep. For you dealers that have partners, you might already have those partners already moving on to Fortellis today.
Yep.
Great call out. I'm going to take on a tough one. Why not? I got a comment here that said, you mentioned real time. Does that mean Fortellis APIs will operate in real time rather than on a 15-minute async interval? There's a lot to unpack there. When we talk about APIs on Fortellis, there's several different types of APIs on Fortellis. The asynchronous that Tyler had talked about earlier are designed to deliver information as it's changed within the DMS. And at current state, that does have a 15-minute latency on it. Latencies are something that we're working as a team to try to improve over time. So understand that that's coming. When we talk about real time, though, where we're probably seeing most of that real time functionality is not so much in a get API where we're getting information out of the DMS, but rather where we're actually posting information into that DMS. We're editing records, we're adding records, we're adding customer information, and that information is all done in real time on Fortellis APIs. So when we hear real time, obviously it depends upon the technological use. It depends upon the workflow, the use case that's being involved. Not everything is real time, but where it's absolutely essential when we're doing that post work and we're doing that working with edit records, obviously that's in real time. So that statement would apply there. Async, I know, is a question or an area of contention we've had with a couple of people. I know that latency work is being ongoing, and that's going to continue to improve over time. But where it really matters most, when we're actually posting information, editing it is done in real time.
Just to add on to that, it is our goal from the product and engineering side also is to make sure that the data is available as near real time as we can. When it makes sense. There's sometimes it just doesn't make sense and the cost just doesn't make sense. But when we can, we want to provide it. And so it will be by workflow basis as well, right? So we are working to improve, our architecture always and speed up the data latency or reduce the data latency that we have there. And so, stay tuned as we make announcements moving forward. Is like, hey, these APIs or this like entire kind of data set now has less data latency than it used to. So it's definitely top of mind for us.
Great. Another question I got in here is DevCare portal accessible only in the US? DevCare portal is designed to support Anyone that's utilizing Fortellis is designed to operate within North America, so its main service area is the U.S. and Canada. So that's really our primary area of focus. It is a web-based tool, so you may have the ability to post in other areas, but it is designed specifically to support U.S. and Canada as its primary function. Another question I had was a kind of bit of a challenging question for me. It came up around data management, and the question was, if a dealer chooses to restrict a data field for an API, does this restriction happen across all of its apps? And the short answer is no, it does not. Each one is unique. You may have app one over here that is, a survey app doing one functionality with that API. And then you may have over here a totally different app that may be a bill collection app, collecting funds. And both of those happen to be using that same customer record. Someone that's doing bill pay versus someone that's having a survey, you may say, I need more information over here to actually validate the credit card. I want that zip code. Where a survey that's an email based, I don't need to have the zip code. So you may very well be turning on and off specific fields for the same API, but doing it in different apps, so that way it granularly is fitting the control mechanism that you need, giving you, again, that flexibility to say, hey, over here, I need to lock this thing down pretty tight. Over here, I'm willing to open that up a little more because it's a better fit for the workflow that I'm utilizing. So data management and data filtering that you'll be doing as dealers is really designed to give you that flexibility across multiple apps in their own unique ways. Let's see, other questions we have in here.
Yeah, one that popped up that I want to comment on. Someone said, which API should I use for, X use case? Of course, in this meeting, we're not going to go into specific use cases. I would say on Fortellis, the APIs are there. At least the publicly available APIs. You can go look at the documentation and the specs to see, which APIs do what. And of course, I'd say just encourage you to reach out to your representative at CDK, and they can always consult with you about what your end goals are and which APIs are most appropriate.
And something that we talked about even a few minutes before the Q&A too. While you might get some general information and a general understanding of things, if the goal is really to have a higher level of education and a lot of knowledge sharing brought in, professional services is absolutely available to help you with that planning of that workflow and the design aspect of that workflow. They have an entire process in place really to help you extract what that workflow is, give you the documentation, and educate you in that process a lot deeper than just a self-service model. So if you feel like you're not getting what you need at on the website and still lacking a little bit after maybe talking with your account manager, click on that professional services link that exists all over on the website, on the Fortellis website. Go ahead and put that comment question in. A small investment of your time and effort can yield some great rewards and maybe even speed up that entire developmental process. And let's face it, in today's world, time is money. Quickly reading through because we've skipped around a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I've got a couple here that I'd like to cover. One-on-one, definitely. Anything specific there jumping out at you that you're seeing on there that you want to talk to, Tyler?
We had a question about how does Fortellis plan to notify customers about new API versions, especially with migrating from older versions that are scheduled for deprecation. As part of this ramp up that we're doing with Fortellis with the API migration, we also are making sure we have a more robust version deprecation schedule. So we'll make sure that we are notifying folks, documentation will be updated. We're going to make sure we have adequate time, and at the same time, our support team will be ready to help you. So just to put any concerns to rest, we're going to make sure that everybody has adequate warning when versions are updated. And that's just a normal process with a lot of APIs. We want to make sure that we're not going to have anything that breaks for you. So there will be like a very robust notification process with comms. We're going to build things into the platform. So we're going to make it as seamless as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I want to comment, I mean, we definitely know that we've moved fast on these versions as we're trying to just respond as quickly as we can to the market and some use cases like, hey, I'd love it if it shared this data or whatever. So we've moved fast to get new versions out there, I think faster than we've been able to manage like some communication side. Yeah, I mean, the team has built 60 plus APIs year to date, which is a massive number of APIs for any development team, and so yeah, I think we've kept Tyler busy on the communication side, but it's one of the things we've identified that, we built some tools into the platform actually in the last quarter that will allow us to kind of, when there's a new version, easily communicate that out to consumers, that there's a new version and any differences in it, the new dev guide, and then expectations of when you should migrate or when the previous version might be sunset, stuff like that. So yeah, we're definitely moving in that direction.
Tyler, would you or Craig like to take that question that came in about searching repair order? I thought that was a great question.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Will an API be available for an ISV to retrieve a single repair order without needing to pull a whip open?
Oh, Craig, do you want to? Let me see.
There is a search repair order API. You can search by an ID and pull the information on it. I think it's what it's asking without needing to pull.
Yeah, I think so.
That's in the migration process right now. So this will be in due time an available API. So
that's a win.
Yes, we heard you. We heard that feedback. I think this was a while back, and we're putting it into action. So that's definitely coming.
Great question. Another question I got was, with all those different APIs that were talked about for field management, is there a way to get a list of all the APIs that are involved in field management? I'm going to address this two ways. First of all, if you're working with an app today and you log into your existing certified app that you have and you go and look at that list of APIs within the app, if field management is required, it's literally going to say configure. And if you've already configured it, then it's going to tell you, 25 out of 100 fields, whatever, so you'll be able to identify quickly if it's been configured already. If you're trying to just get a general understanding of what could be a possible API that has that capability, the slide that was showed earlier in this presentation, the same slide that was also presented back in July when we did our initial launch on this, those slides will be available after the event, so you'll be able to see that and go to that list and use that as a frame of reference. So a couple different ways that you'll be able to know that information and know it quickly.
It's also in the API description in Fortellis itself. So if you go look at the API, it indicates if this is a field management API.
We've covered a lot of ground. We are really short on time, unfortunately. So what I am going to do is wrap and just thank everybody for joining us today. If you didn't get your question answered, and I know there was a lot more in that Q&A section that we could pull off quickly, we will be reaching out to you individually with some answers to those pointed and specific questions. We value all your feedback, and we do look forward very much to seeing you at the next Connect CDK event, and before then, hopefully at NADA just around the corner in the winter. And with that, we'll go ahead and close this one out. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.